Hello, welcome to the least consistent podcast since U.S. politics. Got him.
My favorite podcast.
Yes. Hey, there's some pretty. You know what? If Bernie Sanders had a podcast, I mean, I'd listen to it.
Would be feeling the burn on a weekly basis.
Yes. God, please. Please.
I don't want to get too political.
I don't want to get.
bet Bernie Sanders hates my hero.
I don't want to get too political, but I bet Bernie Sanders is a real nice guy.
I bet Bernie Sanders likes part 5.
Yeah. Oh. Well. Guess I don't like Bernie Sanders anymore. Look.
Anyway, welcome to the Quirkless podcast. Wink.
Now let me talk about. Let me circle back to part 5 again. I don't actually hate it. Please don't. Please.
Anyway, this arc is.
It's finally over. This arc is dead. Thank God.
The date is circa 20th of February 2019.
It's dead. It's finally dead.
It's dead. And we have the week off next week, and I'm hoping that So Horikoshi can
learn how to not be a hack.
I'm hoping that the next arc is good. I'm assuming it's building up either to year 2 or Prison Break.
Yeah. Hopefully, I don't know. It's I don't know if we're probably building up to a villain arc at the very least, but I don't know if we're gonna get something as big as Prison Break soon.
Well, okay, I have a tiny theory. I think what if we got like a time skip, not like a year time skip, but like a few months into year at the start or into year 2.
I mean, I'm not opposed to a time skip, but a lot of people are.
Well, I think when people think time skip, I think they usually think like years, months. But I don't think it would be that long. It'd be like a 3-month time skip, possibly just getting into the start of year 2. Possibly a training with Shoto and Endeavor, because that was mentioned. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That means we'll get to see Hawks.
Yeah.
And a chapter with Hawks is a good chapter in my books.
Hey, maybe we'd even get to see Tokiyami training with Hawks. That'd be pretty cool. Well, probably not now, but you know. If at some point we did get that in the future, I would be very pleased.
We'll probably end up... So, Class B loses, sadly. Based Monoma wasn't able to do anything.
Yeah, and he even got screwed in the afterword of the arc, because he didn't even win, couldn't even copy Aries' quirk. Useless character.
I liked how they explained his quirk but my real question is, what does Eri have stockpiled? What's the prerequisite?
So I think what she stockpiles is the gay chemicals that Obama have been putting in the water.
Oh, okay. I'm assuming it's trauma.
Oh.
No, but so I can't actually think about what she would be storing. Because it can't be anything to do with the horn, because Monoma even grows the horn, unless that was just for comedic effect. But what could she even be storing up, unless it was something like possibly Chisaki injected into her or something? I can't really think of anything.
Yeah, the idea of stockpiling doesn't really gel well with the what we've established our quirk as, at least. What you know,
it's rewind. Fat Gum makes sense because obviously Monoma doesn't have fat cells.
Doesn't have fat cells.
Well, he doesn't have a huge surplus of fat cells, unlike Fat Gum. Deku made sense because he didn't have the pre-established build up of power. But what is Aries' thing? It would have been. I presume it will be explained because obviously they're trying to figure out what Aries' quirk is.
Now, based Horikoshi isn't gonna explain shit.
I don't know. It is nice to see Eri again, and because we get to see fucking. Oh no, I forgot his name. Miria, that's his name.
Yeah. it was really cool seeing Ari again, and I'm glad she's and we got hints of an Aizawa backstory, so that'll be fucking litty.
Is that who Shirakumo is? Presumably.
Yeah, what was I think Caleb posted something about his name meaning something, or someone. Shirokuma means like something king, I think, or like cloud king or some shit. See, I don't know Japanese, so
I'm sure we'll get an explanation on it eventually, but
no, I'll never get explained.
I think what can happen now in My Hero is very open, considering we've like one thing which is good about this arc is that we've now established all of Class B's quirks and their character. So we like. So I'm just. Go on.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm just looking forward to see what we get next. It was also I really did love Bakugo's interaction with Deku at the start.
Yeah, they were having a little sparring match at the beginning. It was real cool. It was real freaking cool.
It's also nice to see that Bakugo is now part of the All Might Deku secret meeting club.
Yes. Very, very cool. Thank you. It's yeah, I mean, like, just seeing Bakugo, like, this is just more proof that he's grown as a character. If all the other proof completely slipped by you, because you're an idiot, but yeah, it's just very, very nice to see that Bakugo is a very he's grown as a person, totally not still kind of shitty towards Deku whatsoever, a completely rational person,
the nicest boy in UA.
Yeah, no, Monoba's the nicest boy, let's be honest.
Okay, although Monoma isn't necessarily going to be like super important, I feel like the fact that Aizawa even asked him to come kind of shows that he might be more important or get more screen time, especially considering during the fight it seemed as if it was going into like how Monoma thinks and how he has some sort of like inferiority complex about not really being the main character, considering this isn't even in like a meta way. His quirk requires him to either be like a sidekick or on the sidelines, so he can't really be the star. I really hope that Monoma gets a moment. Also, I still don't know what I think about the explanation of his quirk. Like, it makes sense, but also like when I'm thinking about it, it's like what would Eri have stockpiled up in the instances in which where he copies quirks? Don't most quirks require some sort of like, I don't know, stockpile of something to like
maybe,
put them to work?
Maybe Eri stockpiles like a quirk factor or something, because like obviously her quirk is like closely tied with DNA and stuff. So what if that's what Overhaul was injecting her with?
We're assuming Overhaul was injecting her with stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you have a child locked up,
he's kind of fucked up, so probably.
Hey, come on! If you have a child locked up in your basement like I do, you're gonna inject her with stuff.
I mean, that's just part. It's a waste.
Yeah.
If you're not, especially considering if anything bad happens, she can just reverse it.
Yeah. Yeah. Chisaki was secretly a very caring person. Definitely not a sociopath. Where would you get that idea?
I know we're going to be talking about Prison Break a lot until we figure out where this arc is going to go, but I just remembered that Chisaki doesn't have hands anymore. So...
Yeah, you really gotta hand it to him.
We see him in the Prison Break arc. He's just like... we never actually got established if he could use Overhaul with his feet or if it was only just his hands.
God.
I'm assuming it's just his hands.
No, he's probably like super fucking weird about it, and he's like, feet are too unsanitary. No, there's a lot of projecting going on right now. Sorry.
He's gonna start wearing gloves for his feet.
Yeah. And then once his feet get blown off, he's gonna have to use like his like dick or something. But
he wouldn't even want to roll around in the ground. He'd want to figure out a way of like.
He'd want new hands. That's what he'd want first.
I mean, Eri could technically. Do you think that would happen actually? Like Chisaki goes through some sort of fucking like character arc and becomes a semi good guy, and Eri's the one who gives his hands back. Is that even, it has to be
Do I think that
possible.
Overhaul is gonna steal Gentle's character arc?
I hope not.
Yeah. No,
Fucking
100%. The only villain in this series that I want redeemed is my boy Gentle, who is not a pedophile. Stop saying that.
well, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't think we ever got a confirmed age for La Brava, so he very well could be.
Well, okay, I think it was more like seen as like he was just going along with it, so she wouldn't just like off herself. So there wasn't because he did say there wasn't any like real feelings. But did he?
Yeah, which kind of makes Gentle La Brava's hero when you think about it.
My hero.
My hero. But like, I don't know. I Gentle, he's a pretty suspicious fellow. I don't know about that guy. I mean, like, either way, I think he's definitely gonna get redeemed at some point. Cause he's gonna be like working for the CIA or something, the Japanese CIA.
I think there's like a lot of like loose ends, which are like, well, not necessarily loose ends, but there's like a lot of characters in My Hero, and like, I don't know where the story's gonna go. It seems as if it's going towards Shoto training with Endeavor per se, and maybe
Yeah.
Deku might. I don't know. It just. I do think. I don't know where I'm going with this point. It's just either it can go. I presume it's still going to go down the Endeavor Hawks route, but Shoto's going to be there. And obviously some sort of shenanigans happen.
And it's gonna be a love triangle.
I do predict that Dabi is Toyo reveal. Because that to me that's just obvious.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to go around thinking, oh, it's obvious he's Toya, but like a lot of people think he's Toya. Like even before we even knew who Toya was, we were like, yeah, Dabi's probably related to Shoto and Endeavor in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I don't think that would necessarily be like a bad way of revealing it. I don't agree with Meti when he's like, all because people figure out something before the author reveals it doesn't necessarily make it a bad plot point.
No, that makes it a way more concrete reveal. Like, or not even like, it makes it a much better mystery, like, ironically, kind of. Because it's like, if people are able to figure out your mystery, then you've obviously left enough clues that it makes sense. Mm-hmm. And is like logical. But I guess on the other end of the spectrum, you want a mystery that's like maintains the surprise with giving enough clues. So I guess I
mean, it's rather it be obvious than like it just be like completely out of left field, and then we get an entire chapter which just seems like retcon shit. Because I mean,
yeah,
like,
Dabi is actually a clone of Never.
Imagine if it came out, oh, it was actually Mr. Compress, who is Shoto's missing brother, Toya. Has no relation to Quirk in the slightest. Oh, but here's the reason why. And it's just like, no. It's probably going to be Dabi, and I'm fine with that. If anything, I'm even better with it, because I like Dabi as a character. I like his just do whatever the fuck he wants attitude he has.
Yeah. I just thought of something. So if Monoma was already overweight and he copied Fat Gum's quirk, would it work then?
Like, okay, you gotta start, then you have
yeah, is like Fat Gum fat different than regular human fat?
Well, does Fat Gum have more fat cells because of his quirk? Or does he just eat a shit ton to make his quirk better? I presume, like, if Monoma was fatter, his quirk would probably be better, but it might not necessarily be exactly the same. I mean, Monoma's quirk's always going to be slightly nerfed anyway, because it's Monoma. But
yeah,
another thing I was thinking about, so Monoma could technically, like, this is just a bullshit theory of mine, but could Monoma theoretically copy Deku's quirk and then have like 20 people in a line transfer it all to each other and then transfer it back to him, and then for like a good minute he would have a decent amount of power?
Maybe.
This is how it went through my head. Okay, Monomer can copy a quirk for around 5 minutes. That means if he were to copy Deku's quirk, he could technically still pass on power, but after that 5 minutes runs up, everyone who had that power would immediately disappear.
No, it wouldn't. Because things he changes with his quirk stay that way, like the gigantic nuts and bolts from the fight.
But isn't that to do more with how Yui's quirk works?
No, I think I think he said even like he even like stated like, yeah, no, her quirk like immediately dissipates after a few minutes, but when I use it, I never have to deactivate it, so it's like it stays that way. Maybe it's like that, but like, could he somehow create a second user of all? Could he give the quirk to Mirio?
Mirio's quirk factor as a whole has disappeared. Actually, that's interesting. Could Monomer theoretically copy Mirio's quirk and still have it because he just copies the quirk factor? Because like Mirio's genetics are still there.
Yeah.
So he's like I forget what his quirk is actually called. Permutation. So he technically still has the permutation quirk, so that his quirk factor doesn't work. So if Monomer were to theoretically take his quirk factor, it would still work, I would presume. Like, we still haven't... the way quirk factors work is still very loose. Like, it's just...
Maybe it should stay that way, honestly.
Well, yeah, obviously, I don't think Horikoshi's got a biology degree to describe exactly how quirk factors work. All we really need to know is you need the quirk factor to control your quirk. I think Aizawa explained it one time with Tail Boy. So to copy, if Aizawa were to stare at Ojiro, he wouldn't be able to control his tail because a side effect of having the quirk is the tail, but the quirk factor is to be able to control a tail.
Yeah,
I think that's like the best explanation we've got, and obviously, you need a quirk factor to use the quirk. I like how Monomer's explained, but I think it just gives more questions.
Yeah. Also, are stockpiling quirks like a separate type of quirk? Do they fit into one of the subcategories?
Well,
are they emitters?
It's not really a stock. It wasn't a stockpile quirk. Deku's is a stockpile.
Yeah.
But it's more they work off an already existing thing like that. See, that's what confuses me more about Eri. Because it's like the person they used to explain it is Fat Gum. In which way it's easy. Fat Gum is fat. His quirk works better because of his excess of fat. What does Eri have an excess of? You can't say we know that the horn gets bigger when she was going through that very traumatic experience. The horn got really big, and then it started to shrink after she was rescued, and then we were told it started growing again. So, does her quirk work in a way of like it stores power over time, and then because Monomer copies the bare essence of the quirk, 5 minutes can't really do shit?
Oh yeah, because her time, like, technically, her quirk is all about like time and stuff, like reverting.
Oh my god! It just
stores time.
It just clicked.
Yeah. So basically, her quirk is that her horn will store up time, and then she can use it to revert biological time in a person. And when she used up all of her stockpiled energy on Deku during the overall fight, it shrank.
Oh, and I guess Overhaul's like group had the trigger, didn't they?
Yeah.
So that would have explained on how she was able to use it so much and how her horn got so big. So maybe like as Eri gets older, but we don't know if it's like exactly because maybe it's not like the time that she lives. Maybe 5 minutes is like fucking nothing to store up time because I mean it must take a shit ton of energy to reverse like something's biological processes and all of that.
Yeah.
So maybe like a day can only give you like a few minutes, and obviously if you had trigger, it would like her horn got so big because it had so much like time energy. I guess that's the best we can
Time
explain
energy. It's a weird
it.
way of saying it. I get it, but like, it does feel weird to say it. Because it's like quirk
It's
that
like
manipulates the actual very like universe itself in that kind of way. It does imply a larger control of the universe that quirks just haven't been shown to use.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone like General who can like change the molecular makeup of like air and shit. That's sort of like, even if it's weird, it's kind of grounded. But like the idea of like controlling time itself is just so wacky.
I mean,
Wacky tobacco.
I think that just really happens when you start looking into things like from a more scientific. Like, it's very easy if we were just like, they're superpowers. It's wacky. It just works like that. But when you sit there and it's like, Gento can change the physical characteristics of the air itself to make it elastic. In order to do that, he would have to do this, this, and this, and it could, I don't know, tear a hole through the universe or something. And it's like, oh, okay. Bakugo, he would need to sweat so much if he wanted to create explosions. Like, well, obviously it's easy to just look at it as superpowers with very loose scientific backing. Like, the more you go into it, obviously, with Eri, that fucking she can like, I forget, is it? I think it's just biological processes, isn't it? It's like she can't fix the building, can she?
Yeah. It just reverts the body, essentially. I think maybe like, oh, okay. So maybe you said they were using trigger, right? Maybe we have the wrong idea about that.
That's an assumption. I'm assuming because we were joking about like injecting shit into Eri, but like obviously you kind of have to like do that. He was making quirk bullets. It's not like he just told Eri to focus on a bullet and then do it. Like, we're assuming there's some sort of quirk enhancing drugs that are going on in order to have the quirk enhancing, because the quirk enhancing, well, no, the quirk disabling bullets were made from her, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was the entire point of having her. So I'm assuming it was a buffed up version of Eri's quirk which only attacks the quirk factor.
Yeah.
So like, Eri, I think it was explained that Eri like killed her parents, didn't she? Because she turned them back into like sperm and egg cells.
Yeah.
So they just effectively just died.
I think we assumed that, but like, I see where you're coming from. What if it's like this? So, what if he would like take off bits of her horn and then like replace it or whatever with his quirk? Like, that's how he did it. Like, he would just flick off her horn and then replace it again with his quirk, and then they would ground up the horn, kind of like it's like a twist on traditional medicine, because what was it, like, that's a big problem in China, right? They'll like poach animals and then like ground up their horns and stuff for like medicine. What if it's like that because of the remember all the bullets he had, his underlings, they were all corruptions of the precepts, right? Yeah. So what if his character as a whole is like a corruption on like parts of like that culture, and Eri is like
a plague doctor, so he had the aesthetics of a plague doctor.
Yeah, so he's like a medicine man in a way, like a traditional medicine man. So like, you ground up her quirk, her horn, and you put it into like a bullet with trigger, and now it's like working on overdrive. So you basically have a quirk killer bullet.
I mean, yeah, that would work. That, and like, that was that the prototype of the quirk killer bullet, or was it like the finalized version? Because I mean, I guess if it was made from Eri's quirk, could you like, well, not bullshit, but could you argue that they're not permanent? Or, well, it's been like, I would have to, like, this is just all shit that's just clicked into my mind right now. So it's like, obviously, like, if I wanted to be like, oh wait, yeah, I would need to read back on chapters, like read all the explanations, because I don't remember every fucking little dialogue thing in My Hero. I'd love to, but boy, I've got better things to do with my time right now. But I don't know. I think this is really. I think I might actually go back and read some of the earlier chapters when it's like explaining Eri's quirk and shit. Because like, what if Eri can't reverse her own quirk? So like Mirio could actually be quirkless forever, like because that could be like the loophole. Because it's Eri's own quirk, she can't. Like, have we been told that Eri could reverse her own injuries?
I don't
I
think it's
think,
ever been stated outright.
Because what if that's like the thing? Because we've all been thinking Mirio will get his quirk back thanks to Eri, but what if because the quirk bullets were because of Eri, she can't do it?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is all just like theoretical shit, and I mean, I'm now happier with the fact that Monoma couldn't use her quirk because it would make sense for why her horn got so big and then smallly big. Because obviously she stores some sort of energy in that horn.
Yeah.
And obviously that's why Monoma can't use that quirk because 5 minutes is nowhere near enough time to even get like anything out of that quirk.
Mm-hmm. This is definitely interesting because I never really thought of the idea of her actually like storing time and stuff, and that's now that we know it's a like a stockpiling quirk in a way.
It has to be related to a horn. Like to me, it has to be because even when Monoma copied it, we know that the bare essential to her quirk is at least having the horn, and we know that her horn gets bigger. And then we know it got smaller at some point, and and Miriam mentioned that it was starting to grow again. So that horn has something to do, with the stockpiling.
Yeah.
But that's just my theory. To me, it makes a lot of sense from what.
Yeah, and I do think it has like a basis in like. I think it has a basis in like science. It's not necessarily an emotional thing.
Yeah. Fucking, I'm more interested to find out what Eri's quirk really is then, because I'm like, that's, we'll be figuring out that soon. Oh, I just realised. What if, like, so what if Shigaraki's plan is to, like, kidnap Eri at some point, and, like, because I feel like Eri might be, like, a plot important character. You wouldn't have, necessarily, the big three become her babysitters and Aizawa if some shit wasn't going to go down with her, because, like, what if Shigaraki like steals her, and like she could be the key to like reviving All for One?
All for One. That's the big thing, right? She's invaluable to him because he can bring All for One back from the brink of death, essentially.
Right. Even if he were to steal that quirk, he like immediately becomes way much more of a threat because like, even if he doesn't necessarily use the quirk, he can bestow that quirk onto anyone. Like,
yeah.
But we don't really know, like, the full power of that quirk. What if, because All for One is so powerful, what if he can just, like, revert everything? Like, again, we still don't know. I think it was explained just to be biological processes, but there's a lot of wacky shit that could happen if All for One took that quirk.
Remember back when we got the All for One flashback a while ago?
Yeah.
Where it showed the first user and he's like, he takes the guy's quirk and he puts it into the other one, right?
Yeah.
The guy he took the quirk from, he had like horns, right?
He had like I think the explanation was there was a guy who had a mutation quirk which like gave him a shit ton of spikes and it made him look ugly. And then there was a quirkless guy who got the shit beaten out of him by a bunch of quirked people.
Yeah.
So he took away the spike one from him. Because he saw that as a curse to his physical appearance. And then he gave the other guy that quirk because now he can go around and fight people who try to fight him. I don't think that
what if that was like... What if that was foreshadowing? Like, clearly, like, in a way, Aries' quirk kind of makes it difficult for her to be safe. So what if it is a similar idea? She encounters One for All or All for One. One for All. Fucking All for One. She encounters All for One and she's like, take my quirk away. I don't fucking like it, please.
I mean, she does see it as like I'm sure if she was given, because she even said in this like late in the recent chapter 217, she was like, I don't like this quirk. It's just caused so many issues for people. If it would be better if like I didn't have it to begin with. But I mean,
Yeah, I
then
mean,
Deku comes back. It's like a quirk is like a sharp knife. It's dangerous, but you can make yummy food. And I'm like, okay, Deku,
yeah,
that's cheesy, but I'm gonna let that one slide. I don't know.
yeah. That would be I would like that as a twist a whole lot, especially if the quirk ended up going to someone like Mirio. Imagine Mirio with Aries quirk. Dunzo.
I mean, I'm sure we're gonna have to get an explanation on quirk soon because that's like Aizawa is trying to figure out what's going on. And I mean, I don't know. I'm looking forward to another thing that was also explained in like the recent chapter is like Deku, despite the fact he knows the emotion that got his quirk to work, he can't just activate it, which kind of like puts me on like one or two camps. Either Deku having multiple quirks is going to be used to get him out of shit, or because he can, it's literally just get out of jail free card, or Deku can only use them in specific circumstances. But I'm sure he will eventually learn to just pop them out whenever. But maybe that's gonna be, I don't know how I forget what the people have been calling him, but I just call him Goggles Boy. The
Funky?
Goggles Boy, said to him like, you had your one thought in your mind was being able to capture those people, and my quirk is perfect for that. Therefore, you used it. Maybe it's because Deku hasn't like tapped back into that feeling, and Deku said it was linked to his emotions. And the only thing I thought about that was like, oh, this sounds like Steven Universe. It's your emotions, Deku. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to see what the other quirks are. I also think that mutation theory is interesting. That the two shadowed people are mutant quirks.
So I was looking back at the chapter, and the guy actually he had what appears to be a different quirk. He had like a jaw quirk.
It was, but when it got transferred, it just seemed to be like a spike quirk.
Yeah,
but
like that's the weird part. It like kind of changed when it got.
I think it's the same quirk. It's just that where it grew on him, the spikes were like on his jaw, but when he gave it to the other person, it just went all over his body. Just because it could just be a general spike quirk, and that guy was unfortunate. Or it could just be quirks work differently for different people.
Yeah. Maybe it's like about the power of your quirk factor. That's like something we haven't even thought about. What if people have inherently stronger quirk factors? Probably not, because that
guy was quirky.
that sounds a little I don't know, a little too Naruto for me.
I mean, people, I don't know. People keep talking about how they're afraid of My Hero becoming Naruto. I mean, I never really watched Naruto up until like the final battle, but I have faith in Horikoshi. I'm sure it'll come out fine. I'm liking where My Hero's going. I can't wait to see what the next arcs are going to be. Like, this arc was a drag, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm also hoping, I think we should try to be more consistent on the podcast, but really, when life throws shit at you, you can't really do shit most of the time. Yeah. Well, I would like to be more consistent, really.
I'd like My Hero to be more consistently good so I can feel the need to do a video. But
I mean, yeah, but I think we're getting back
recently
into,
it's
like,
been fine, but like it's definitely hasn't been the peak series for me, at least in Shonen Jump, for a couple weeks now. Either it's something something way more cool has happened in One Piece. Black Clover usually has something going on, or even or probably Jujutsu Kaisen has something going on because I suck that series dick like it's going out of style.
I need to start reading that.
Yeah, you do.
And then after that, I guess Black Clover.
Yeah, Black Clover is a quick read.
I'm just gonna catch up with
because it's like 40 chapters, but
I'm gonna catch up with all the shonen shit I want, and then I guess I can start going on to like other shit people recommend. I just want to catch up with all the shonen stuff because like Viz is always putting out the shonen stuff. It's like, okay, I'll catch up with all of this, and then I have something to read on the weekly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, is there anything really you want to say, like, about the chapter?
Well, no.
Or chapters?
No. No, well, this only, like, dawned on me because, like, I think I brought it up last chapter, I think? Or
Yeah.
last time we did a video. I think the reason why two of the users for All for One were silhouetted, like, it's
Yeah.
becoming, like, pretty clear in my mind why they were silhouetted.
Mhm.
Both of them probably have mutation quirks. Just throwing that out there.
Mhm.
That's the most likely reason, I think. I don't think they're, like, reincarnated versions of anyone else. No, they have mutation quirks, and Horikoshi's just not going to show them off until he feels the need to.
Yeah, I subscribe to that. It's just more, I don't know, it'd be weird to see such a huge character change in Deku, assuming that mutation quirk.
Yeah,
Takes effect
that would be the
immediately.
one where you couldn't hide it. Oh, Deku, you're a fucking dog now. That's cool. When did that happen?
Like he goes home to his mom.
Yeah, just furry Deku. Just furry Deku.
I can imagine that. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like if it was a mutation, either it would be permanent, or it would be like he has like a semi-permanent type thing. Because I don't know if Horikoshi really has, well, even his editors have the guts to change the design of a main character like majorly. Because it'd be kind of weird if like suddenly one week Shonen Jump Deku's like a normal human boy, and the next week he's half lizard, half rabbit, and it's like, oh, his first costume was foreshadowing.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind if he got like, oh, and like one of the users ended up being like Mirko's like grandfather or something.
Maybe. Okay, that would be. I'm fine. With that.
Oh my god, that'd be great. Oh my god.
I wouldn't mind if the mutation like it had somewhat of a semi-permanent effect.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't become like a fucking lizard person, but like on his hands or something, he has like a little bit of scale. It's like it's not.
Just has bunny ears forever now.
I just like something little, not like a massive change. I don't want Deku growing bat wings and having a dog face. It'd be a bit fucking freaky, I think.
God, I feel so bad for the next for all user. Cause Deku's just gonna come up and he has like fucking rabbit ears and he's like, hey kid, want a quirk?
He like pulls out a rabbit hair and it has like a little bit of a flea on it and he's like, eat this.
You could eat this. Deku rabbit's never gonna happen, so that's sad, but you know what? I guess that's all we have to talk about.
So yeah, is there anything you want to show?
Well, obviously Jujutsu Kaisen, and the new One Piece movie looks good.
There's a new One Piece movie. What?
Yeah, Stampede.
Okay, this is very new to me. I guess I'll shill that. I haven't heard of it yet, but I'll shill it.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course you. Wait, I may have. Yeah, I don't know where the chat. I don't know where the trailer went. They didn't retweet it, so.
Anyway, thanks guys for listening. I know we've been very inconsistent, as of late, but hoping that My Hero is now like we're like post this arc, that will be a little bit more consistent. Maybe we'll see. Thanks for listening, guys, and if you enjoyed the episodes, feel free to share them and tell us your thoughts in the chat below. Bye.
I love my dad.
Same.